This is the tower installation tutorial for online high-density UPS series with extended battery modules known as EBMs. This installation tutorial applies to all 4U models of online high-density UPS series and their compatible EBMs. Important notice: before installation, please read the safety precautions that can be found in the user's manual, quick start guide, and/or other related documents. To start, prepare the following items, which come with the UPS unit. The EBM kit is used for EBM installation only, which contains the following items. In addition, you will also need to prepare other accessories and tools before the installation. First, affix 4 rubber pads and insert 4 dust covers to the left side of both the UPS and the EBM. Then, affix 4 rubber pads to each tower stand. Stand the UPS and the EBM on their left side and place them next to each other closely. Remove 2 dust covers from the top side of the UPS and the EBM respectively. Then, secure the tie plate by using 4 silver pan head screws to ensure stability. Next, insert 8 dust covers into the open screw holes to prevent dust from entering the units. Secure the 2 stands onto the bottom of the UPS and the EBM respectively by tightening the screws on each side. Before connecting the EBM to the UPS, make sure the DC breaker is off. Then, loosen the 4 screws to remove the battery cable retention brackets of the UPS and the EBM. Connect the output cable of the EBM to the UPS. Rotate and fix the battery cable retention brackets with 4 screws to secure the cable. If more than one EBM is required, follow the same procedures to install and connect them with one another. Next, use the power cord for EBM connection to connect the AC outlet of the first EBM to the AC inlet of the next one. Repeat this procedure to connect all EBMs in sequence. Then plug the power cord for utility connection to the AC inlet of the first EBM and to the utility grid. For the EBM management, connect the BM cable to the BM port of the UPS and to the BM port marked with "in" of the first EBM. Then, use another BM cable to connect the BM port marked with "out" of the first EBM to the BM port marked with "in" of the second one. Follow the same procedure to connect all EBMs. Next, use the BMP cable to connect the BMP port of the UPS to the BMP port of the first EBM. Tighten the 4 black round head screws to secure the BMP cable from loosening. Then, use another BMP cable to connect the BMP port of the first EBM to the BMP port of the next one, followed by tightening the screws. Repeat this procedure to connect all EBMs. Turn on the DC breakers of all the EBMs. Then, proceed to connect the input terminal block power cord to the UPS and to the utility grid. First, take the input-output terminal block cover and loosen the 2 screws to detach the top cover. Then, assemble the cable gland onto the bottom cover by tightening the lock nut and the cable gland body with the sealing nut. Fix the bottom cover with the cable gland to the input terminal block of the UPS by tightening the 2 screws. Insert the input terminal block power cord through the cable gland and connect the brown, green, yellow striped, and blue wires to the line, ground, and neutral terminals respectively. Tighten the screws to fix wires by using the slotted screwdriver, and tighten the sealing nut to secure the power cord. Replace the top covers by using the 2 screws. Then, connect the terminal block power cord to the utility grid. The LCD of the UPS will turn on, automatically rotate for proper viewing orientation, and show standby mode. To complete the installation, press the power button for 3 seconds to turn on the UPS. The UPS will run a self-test and operate in battery mode first, which may take a few seconds. Then, it will transfer to line mode. Finally, to make sure the EBMs are properly installed, you may check the number of connected EBMs via the LCD panel. Press the Enter button to access the main menu. Select the UPS status and scroll to the external battery. When you see the number of installed EBMs is correctly displayed, the UPS and EBMs are ready for use.